My name is Camille, and today I'm going to make a video that will hopefully encourage you to turn a bad day around, an unproductive day around. Just one of those days when you're in kind of a funk and you just gotta get through it. So hopefully this video will help you out with that. A little bit about myself first. I'm a homeschooling mama. It's my first year homeschooling. I have 4 kids. They are 8, 7, 4, and 2, and I am 32 weeks pregnant. So you know what? I have those days sometimes where I just feel like I'm in a little bit of a funk, where I'm not exactly motivated to do the things that I have to do or that I want to do to have peace in my home, to just take care of the things that need to be taken care of. So I know what it's like to have unproductive days, and I think everybody does. We all have those days, right? So up front, I want to just do a little disclaimer. There are going to be days in our lives where we shouldn't push through. That sometimes a nothing day is necessary, okay? In Ecclesiastes 3, it says that there's a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cry and a time to laugh. So if you have just suffered some kind of tragedy or something like that, maybe you need a nothing day, right? Where you're just gonna take some naps and you're gonna maybe cry and call a friend and call a family member and cry on their shoulder. There are gonna be days like that. And in those days, you should not try to push through, okay? You gotta feel those things so that then that stuff doesn't come out later. I'm not a psychiatrist, that's just what I think. So I have notes here. That's what I'm gonna be looking down at. So I just wanted to say that right off the bat. I'm not saying that if you just had this horrible thing happen, no, you gotta pull yourself up again and get through it. No, sometimes we need a nothing day, but we don't wanna have too many of those nothing days, because then in the background, those things that you need to do, and the anxieties that may be attached to them are compounding, right? In the background, the longer that we cover over them with whatever it is that we're doing to do that. So we don't want to have too many of those days. So if you are having an unproductive day or just kind of a blah day and you are ready to say enough is enough, let's do this, I want to turn this day around, then this video is for you. So the first thing I would say is a very small thing. Just change something small in your environment. For example, for me, when I'm gonna tackle the dishes, which is not my most favorite thing, and yes, I know the whole thing of load the dishwasher at night or load the dishwasher throughout the day, run it at night, empty it in the morning so it's ready to receive everything throughout the day. You should just be putting things little by little in. But every now and again, the dishes pile up. It's just a fact of life, my life at least. So when I'm gonna tackle the dishes and I don't really want to, I light this candle that is right on the ledge there, or just right on the counter within eyesight of the sink. And it smells so good. Right now it's a Christmassy one. It's like a pine scent because we have a fake tree. This is my very kid style tree, but I love it. It's very joyful. So anyway, I light that candle and something about that motivates me. Maybe it's gonna be something else for you. Maybe it's gonna be turning on more lights in the house. You know, maybe it's gonna be putting on some music. I'm actually gonna link below a little playlist that I've made. It is a completely random assortment of songs that just over time, if I find a song that I'm like, ooh, that kind of is a motivating song, or a song that if I don't wanna clean, but I have to clean, I might put on this playlist. And it's motivating to me. It might not be for you, but you can check it out if you want to. So yeah, just change something small in your environment and it makes a difference. Or start a pot of coffee, you know, something like that, to just kind of get you going a little bit. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is gonna be to do a small task to get the ball rolling. So a homeschool specific one might be, let's do, guys, if maybe the kids are having a blah day too, because I set the tone, and if I'm having a blah day, they might be having a blah day too. So, I'll say, hey guys, let's do our handwriting. They all love their handwriting workbooks, and it's kind of fun for them, and it's easy. It's like the shortest thing that we can do with our homeschool. So that might be something you want to do, is just do the smallest task first. Or if your house is just a crazy mess and you're ready to say enough is enough and take care of it, start with a small task, like organize the tea drawer. Make it so all of the little tea bags line up straight in there. Or clear off the kitchen table. Put everything where it goes. If there's a bunch of stuff on the kitchen table, just clear that off. And then there's a nice clear space. So you might think that by doing the smallest task first, that you're just procrastinating and putting off the hard stuff till later. But I really think that it does something in our minds if we accomplish a task. It gives us a little boost and we're like, okay, I can do this. Let's keep going, So I really think that that is a helpful tip. It helps me a lot to just do something small and then we'll move on. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Tip number 3 is going to be to take something off of your plate for the day. So sometimes I think that having a long to-do list or just a lot of things that we have to accomplish, which sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes we have a lot of things we have to do. But having that long to-do list kind of running in our mind can overwhelm us until we freeze. So we're not gonna do anything. We don't want that to happen. So maybe if I have a lot of things going on in a day, maybe I'll take off of my to-do list making an elaborate, fancy, healthy dinner. Maybe I'm just gonna make a couple boxes of mac and cheese that night, and the kids will be super excited, and it'll have been easy for me. It'll just be one pot to wash instead of a ton. And that's something that is taken off of my to-do list, that is out of my mind. Obviously, we can't just feed our kids macaroni and cheese every single day, but every single day isn't gonna be a blah day, right? So give yourself some grace and make the mac and cheese. Take something small off of your plate. If maybe you don't have kids and maybe you have a lot of work things in mind, take one of those things off that is not the highest priority, and it'll just clear it up a little bit. If you have 4 things instead of 5 or 6 things on your to-do list, it kind of just helps your mindset a little bit, I think. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is gonna just be do something that makes you feel good about yourself, okay? If you can, take a shower or just get dressed, do something that helps you feel good. Have a nice cup of tea, a nice cup of coffee, something for you, something that makes you feel happy and fresh. Something small for yourself, not go on a spa day, because then you're not going to accomplish anything that you wanted to accomplish that day. But just do something small for yourself. It just kind of is a little pick-me-up. I find it helps you to be motivated. Okay, so tip number 5 is to unplug. I am very passionate about this right now because I stopped going on Facebook a couple of months ago or more maybe, and it just made such a big transformation for me. Maybe for you, it doesn't bother you and you're totally fine. Hang on. And you're totally fine with all the stuff that goes on there. But for me, I could be having such a great day and then I could scroll on Facebook for a few minutes and just be like, oh, so stressed out or whatever. So I would say unplug, okay? Put on music instead, or listen to maybe a podcast that is funny to you, or maybe a motivational podcast, something like that, or a sermon, or again, music. Just one of those things, and unplug. Because if you're like me, there's people in front of me who need my attention, and that is way more important than anybody online at that moment, for sure. And even if it's just for a few minutes, it can just really throw you off. So tip number 5 is just simply to unplug so that you can focus on what's in front of you, on your real life, right? Before you do any of these little things, you have decided it is worth it for me to take a stand and change my day. It is worth it to me to turn this day around. So I'm gonna do it. So that is the last tip, is just to take a stand. Even if you have to stand up and say, that's enough, I'm not gonna sit here anymore. I'm not gonna sit here stressing anymore. That's enough of that. And I would encourage you to not run to things that are gonna distract you from your day, and just kind of cover it up with a Band-Aid or something, like watching shows or just, I don't know, or scrolling on social media or any of this other mind clutter, right? Don't run to those things. Let's run to God. Let's run to God, that is the source of our strength and of our peace and of our joy, right? Let's run to him, and let's start to say some things that are really true. Because on those blah days, you might be saying things like, oh, I'm really just not cut out for this. I can't do it. I'm too stressed out. There's too much to do. I can't handle it. Let's not be running those thoughts through our minds, okay? So I'm gonna share with you a couple of little statements that you can say, declarations. These two happen to be from Carolyn Shuttlesworth's book, Lines. It's just a book of confessions, and it's a devotional. So the first one I wanted to share with you, the confession is, I will not let my joy be stolen. I will keep my joy intact so that I can stay strong. The verse that goes along with it is Nehemiah 8:10. Don't be dejected and sad, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. So you could just say something simple like that. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I am strong enough to do this. I can do this. I got this, right? That's good. That's a good thing to say, to put out there, right? The other one is, God gave me the authority to guard my thoughts. And the verse that goes along with that is 2 Corinthians 10:5, which says, with these weapons, we break down every proud argument that keeps people from knowing God. With these weapons, we conquer their rebellious thoughts and teach them to obey Christ. There's the other scripture that says that I take captive my thoughts to the obedience of Christ. So if I'm having those thoughts running through my mind, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, it's too much, blah, 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 blah. I can take it captive and I can say, no, I have the mind of Christ. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I was born for this. I was made for this. You can start to say those things, and man, it pumps you up. It just does, because he is our true source, okay? We can go to other motivational things. I'll even link in the description box below a really silly motivational video. If you know, you know, just do it. I'll link that down below because it's oddly motivating. But ultimately, the greatest source of motivation for us is going to be God, is going to be the Holy Spirit that comes in, and we can have confidence that he hears us when we call him. And so yeah, that is the last and most important tip, is just to run to God and start to declare the truth of his word over us, right? That is going to be the best thing that we can do. I really hope that this video was motivating to you. If today happens to be that blah day for you, you can do this. You can totally do this. I believe in you. You've got this. And if you're having an incredibly productive day, awesome, that's great. And you're just kind of preparing for if and when you do have another blah day, then cool. I hope that this puts some tools in your toolbox for one of those days. Well, have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.